Hey guys, and welcome to another video. So today I'm going to be giving you some tips that you can use on the day of your exams, because I know lots and lots of you are doing your GCSEs, and I believe GCSEs have already started, or some people are going to have their exams soon, and that can be pretty nerve-wracking. I'm thinking back to last year when I was doing my GCSEs, and I'm not gonna lie, there were some things I could have done better, and so I found some tips and I thought I would help you with them. Okay, so first of all, waking up on time. Make sure you have like 3 alarms set. Please do not rely on like your old alarm clock or your phone alarm that you can never hear in the morning. Make sure you have at least 2 solid alarms, maybe even 3. If you're one of those people who knows it takes them forever to wake up, maybe be like, oh, let's have an alarm at 6:30 and then 6:50 and then 7 o'clock, just so you are awake. The worst thing you want is to be like, waking up half an hour late and be like running around, because you're gonna get really worried. Don't let that happen to you. Just get up early, get up, with plenty of time, and that's just gonna make you get into that exam hall and be super duper relaxed. I suppose, like, following on for that, make sure you know the times of your exams. I remember for me with my mock exam, I think it was my maths mock exam, I think it might be like calculator or something, and this was last year in year 11. I thought my maths exam was like on the Wednesday, turned out it was on the Tuesday, and I was like, Tuesday, I have no exams, and I was like gonna sleep in, wake up at like 12 and just do work. And so I went to bed, whatever, and then I'm just waking up to my dad banging on my door being like, why are you not at your exam? And I was like, I don't have an exam now, Dad, my maths exam, that's tomorrow. And he's like, well, the school are on the phone telling me you should be in your exam. And I was like, I screwed up. And so yeah, you don't want to be me. I remember rushing to that exam, getting in there like 20 minutes late, being like, what am I doing? Not a good feeling at all, okay? So what I would highly suggest, and what I did for my GCSEs, got a massive board, like a whiteboard, wrote down every single one of my exams, like on the dates, as if it was like a massive calendar, and just have it, photocopy your exam timetable, take photos of it, make sure you know exactly kind of when your next 3 exams are, that kind of thing, you don't want to be late. Even if your school are lenient and let you have the extra time, you don't want to go into the exam hall flustered and being like, oh, shoot, I've been late, I've missed so much, you want to be going into that exam hall relaxed, knowing what you need to do. You don't want any slip-ups, so make sure you get there in time. Okay, another thing is, I suppose when it comes to, the morning of the exam, make sure you have a big, good, healthy breakfast. And I'm sure your school have lectured you on this so many times. I know mine did, but it's so important. Like, just whether you're like, even if you're someone who doesn't like breakfast, I know I have loads of friends like that, but just find something that you enjoy eating and eat it in the morning. If ideally it would be like a bowl of porridge or like cornflakes or something with like a banana, something that's really filling but also healthy, not too greasy or oily. That kind of thing is really what's going to set you off for the day. You don't want to be in that example, and I'm sure this happened to me, where your tummy just starts grumbling, and it's not only just like really embarrassing, I know you're always there like, how do I make you shut up, shush, but it's also really distracting for you and the others around you. So you want to make sure you eat well in advance and you keep yourself fed. You don't want to be tired, you don't want to be hungry, that's not a good thing. And also with eating, make sure you stay hydrated. Take a bottle of water into that exam, keep drinking up throughout, the day. You want to keep yourself feeling fresh, feeling fit. You don't want to be slacking and really tired. Really make sure, okay? I suppose another tip for me is definitely sleep. It's so, like, it seems like, oh, well, clearly exam the next day, I want to be working till 1 a.m. doing past papers and whatever. As much as that may sound better for you, waking up at 6 or 7 when you went to bed at 1, getting it into school to do an exam at 10, that's not looking good. You want to make sure you wake up and you don't need to be like on it, but you don't want to be tired. You don't want to go into that exam and be like, oh, I'm so tired, oh, I wish I slept earlier. No. You want to get your solid 8 hours minimum. 8 hours minimum, okay? Do not stay up, you know, cramming in work. Don't let yourself do that. Please just do the work and revision beforehand and then have your sleep. That's the time for your body to rest so you can wake up and be fresh and have your stuff down, okay? What else would I say? I would say in terms of just before going into your exam, I remember with us, there were probably like 50, 60 CGP revision books all over the like floor before we were going in. People were faffing around with like massive stacks of notes, you know, their textbooks, like looking at it. I'm not gonna lie, you know, believe it or not, you're not gonna be able to absorb chunks of information about 10 minutes before your exam unless you have photographic memory. It's not gonna happen, okay? So what I would advise you to do, make short, snappy kind of notes, really simplified, or what could be like really good is maybe just have kind of like topics or like say processes that you need to remember. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm trying to think of something off the top of my head, but I can't remember anything. You know, say you have to go over fractional distillation maybe, and have that as a topic, and then you see that on your piece of paper when you've got like 10 minutes, go over it in your head. What does that involve? What are the different stages? What are the different conditions or like factors, all that kind of thing? Or I know with geography, when we had our case studies, it would be like, what's your case study for tourism? This and this. Okay, what is your statistics for it? What are your social points? Just like really kind of set it like that. Don't bring all your notes with you and like you're just gonna be like, oh, okay, turn. When you get in that exam room or exam hall, I assure you, you're gonna be sitting there. You're not gonna be like, oh, on that third page I remember on that line. You're gonna be like, I'm sure I saw that somewhere. I don't remember. Next question. You don't want to be like that, okay? So just short, snappy notes or like bullet point topics that you can kind of just like think about in your head or say aloud to a friend. That's the kind of thing you want to be doing. Finally, you have just finished your paper and you've realised you've got about 10 minutes left. What do you do? Once again, I'm sure your teachers have told you to do this. Go over and review your answers. I remember with my mocks, I did a lot of doodling. I don't even like doodling. I was like, oh, let's be all cool and draw flowers and hearts. And I was like, I don't like this, but why not? And, you know, does that heart get me an extra mark? No, it does not. So don't waste your time. I know some people find it kind of relaxing, and fair enough if you find it relaxing, but if you're someone who's like, this isn't doing anything for me, don't do it. Go check your answers. I remember someone once told me when checking answers, don't go from the front, you know, continuing on like you would normally. Instead, finish your paper and then work backwards. Obviously this is something that would only work in things like kind of like maths exams and probably science, not so much with like essay-based questions. But what it means is that instead of going the normal kind of way, you know, looking at the same questions in the same order, because the chances are your brain is going to make the same mistakes, whereas if you look at it from the back forward, you're going to be like, oh, actually, maybe I didn't, you know, maybe that plus that doesn't equal that kind of thing, you know? And so that's just like a handy way. And yeah, so do check your answers, really think about it. If there is a question you don't really understand and you're like, I'm not too sure on this, don't leave it out. You know, if you have time left over, and this is what I always do, if there's something that I'm like, I have no idea what that means, and that's happened to me in tests before. I remember biology, it was something that I was like, what on earth does that mean? I like found one word in the question that I understood and I just wrote a massive chunk about that one word and I got a couple of marks. I didn't get all the marks, but it's better than 0 marks, so you know. So yeah, those are all kind of my tips for you guys. If you are taking your GCSEs and have started, I wish you all the very, very best. I think A-level guys, you guys are starting in about 2-3 weeks, so you know, hope you're holding in there. And that is all from me today. Feel free to comment down below some more ideas. Yeah, that's pretty much everything from me. Feel free to go follow my Twitter, which is @_Manisha P, or my Instagram, which is Bit of a Fangirl. And don't forget, I have my own channel, which is also called Bit of a Fangirl. So thank you very much for watching. Feel free to subscribe to the Student Room for lots more cool content, and give this a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And yeah, I shall see you guys sometime soon. Bye!